In this video, we're going to talk about how you can get exactly what it is that you want to get in this lifetime. Now, the disclaimer is you might not get it. The key word here is can. Let's face it, you might not get it. You might not. There's a whole load of things that need to be in place for things to come off. You might need a bit of talent. You might need a bit of luck. You might need to be in the right place at the right time. In this video, we're going to break down a few steps to help you get, potentially, exactly what it is that you want. And it really is a formula. And if things don't work out, they don't work out. But you've got to try. You've got to try. And as Yoda says, do or do not. There is no try. It's one of the greatest things you could ever tell someone when they say, oh, I'll try. Do or do not. I'll see you on the other side. It's absolutely boiling hot, so there's going to be no messing around in this video. Number one, what's the problem? What is the problem that we're looking at here? What is it that you need to make happen? In my life, there was a point when I really thought I wanted to be an actor. And I had this going around in my head for years, like, could I act? Should I act? Do I want to act? Can I act? All of these thoughts over and over and over again for years, like I'm talking 20 years. I decided that if I didn't do something about this, this is probably going to go on forever. And I might not be in a position to actually go and try acting. If it got to that point, then it would turn into a regret. And I absolutely did not want any regrets in my life. So I decided that my problem was, I need to know if I can act. I need to know if I want to be an actor. So figure out what your problem is. Figure out what the problem is in your life that you need to solve, that you need clarity on right now. So number two is, where do you want to be? With this problem in mind, where do you want to be? For me, it was like, well, I think if I do want to act, I want to be in the movies. I want to be making the film TVs. That was where I wanted to be. It's a pretty simple recipe. You go do acting, you jump through the hoops, and if it works, you're on the telly box. Where do you want to be in reference to your problem? Figure that out right now. Come back to the video. All right, number three. Are you, I might be blunt in this one, are you willing to change? Are you willing to take responsibility for overcoming this obstacle? Are you willing to actually jump through those hoops, whatever those hoops may be? Are you willing? Because if you're not willing, if you're not actually up for the job, then don't bother. Let someone else do it. Let someone else figure it out and experience that thing that you may or may not want. So unless you're willing to take full responsibility, commit to the dream, and be completely willing to dive into figuring this out, don't bother. Oh, what a massive effort. Don't bother. But if you are willing, if you think no time like the present, carpe diem, then, this is part of the puzzle. So embrace it, completely own it, and be completely willing to take responsibility and potentially making this happen. And then number four, you know what the problem is? You know where you want to be? You're willing. Are you ready to commit? Now this is a whole different kettle of fish. This is a whole different ball game. Committing, there's thinking about it and being willing and I think I could do it. I think I'm willing to give it a go. But committing, whole different thing. Whole different thing. You've played it through. You know what steps you're going to take. Are you willing to commit to actually doing the thing? If you're not, get out now. Don't even bother watching any more of this. Jeez. But if you are, if you're ready to take on life, if you're absolutely ready for this, then keep going strong, stay with me, and start putting a bit of a smile on that old face of yours. Because now it's time to start committing. All right. We're out of the sun. Number five. What's holding you back? What is holding you back from figuring out this problem, jumping through the hoops, taking responsibility, being willing and committing to this thing? What is holding you back from actually doing this thing? Again, with the acting thing, it was just a thought. I was scared. I was scared of doing it and scared of maybe realizing that I couldn't do it. And just the embarrassment that might come along with that. And when I realized that that's what was holding me back, just a bit of embarrassment and, a bit of shame, I realized that that wasn't enough for me to take this to my deathbed going, I never found out if I could have been an actor or not. I just couldn't handle that. And that's what I needed. When I found out what it is that was holding me back, it was me being scared. It was fear. So let's just talk about fear for a minute. What is fear? I like to say that fear and excitement are from the same channel. They really are. One's just, it's harder to breathe. When you're excitement, you're like this, oh my God, I'm excited. And when you're in fear, you're like, oh, I'm in fear and I'm finding it hard to breathe. It's very, very similar. It's from the same place. And we can dive into fear or excitement. And if you're doing something that scares you, then more often than not, it's something that really, really excites you. Obviously, if you're in danger, then that's obviously a different thing. But just think back to the times when you've pushed yourself, stretched yourself, and you're doing something that's scary. There's equal excitement there as well. So what was holding me back in this example was I was scared to find out. I was scared to finally find out that I couldn't do it, that I was a rubbish actor, and I just wasn't ready to sit with that. But when I went through this process of realizing that I was going to take this to my grave, never knowing if I could have acted, and being in the movies gonna make you a star, I needed to know. So this brings us to our final question. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about figuring out this issue, this potential regret? What are you gonna do about it? Well, I'll give you an example of what I did and see if it resonates with you. I decided to go for it. I decided just to find out and just to put my all into it, just to live and breathe it, to dive through the hoops, be an actor, take it on, and potentially be on the telly box, in the movies, in the episodes, and realize my dream of being an actor, an actor. I mean, I see myself in the films. I think I could be that guy. Hopefully make it, be on the big screen and all that jazz. I decided to do it, just to do it, because I couldn't handle that feeling of regret, never knowing, the thought of never finding out. Oh, no way could I experience that in this lifetime. So I did it. I did it for about a year. I gave it my all. I went to acting school and did the whole thing. And you know what I found? I found out that I didn't really want to be an actor. I'm a musician at heart, okay? I love doing this job. Music runs through my blood. And a lot of musicians can act. It's kind of part of the same kind of field. And when I dived into the deep end and really, really did it, I realized that actors are a different breed. Musicians are one kind of breed, and actors are another type of breed. And it wasn't in my blood. I could feel it when I was around it, and I could only find this out from being in the belly of the beast. And it wasn't my jam. I knew that I could do it if I tried. I could pursue it and be okay at it. But it wasn't in my blood. And that's what I needed to know. I needed to know whether this thing was my destiny or not. And I was so proud of myself that I did it. I felt really good. I had some good scenes, and other times I bombed, which is all part of the process. And it was one of the greatest things I ever did, was just diving into it and finding out that it wasn't for me. And maybe later on in life I'll give it another whirl. But if I do, it'll just be from a place of love and, why not? Whereas if you're not in that place and you're doing it from need and want, then that's a tricky game, as we know. We want to always be doing everything we do from a place of love. So the last secret step is always the same. once you've got what you need to know, once you've got that clarity, once you've got the mission ahead, once you know that you're willing and committed, once you know what's holding you back and what you're going to do about it, then it's time to do it. It's time to just make it happen. It's time to stop making excuses. Oh, excuses are the most boring thing in the world. Oh, I can't do it because, it's just, sometimes it's not the right time. Absolutely. I'm only playing. But, the excuses where you're just putting off a dream because of X, Y, and Z. Excuses are just excuses. And there'll always be excuses if you want to make excuses. But if this is something that you absolutely need to know, maybe you need to tell someone something. Maybe you need to tell them how you feel. Maybe you too want to be an actor. Maybe you want to be a musician. Maybe you want to switch jobs and fulfill your dreams. Maybe you're in a job that you don't want to be in. You want to make that jump and do something else. Maybe the parents are telling you that they want you to do one thing, but it's just not you. Maybe you want to move country and get the hell out of here. Maybe you want to disappear from this world that you're living in and live in a totally different world. Geographically talking, I'm not saying do anything drastic. But you could live by the sea, you could live in the mountains, you could live in the wilderness. You could live in the city if you want to be in the city. There's so many different things that you could do in this lifetime. What we can't afford to do is to go through life and not find out if those things that are calling us are truly our calling, our destiny, our purpose. And so if you get anything from this video, it's that I've taken inventory in my life about who I am, what it is that I want, and what it is that I truly desire. And I now know myself completely. I know who I am, what I want, what I don't want, what I no longer need. And the whole point of this is that you become free. You become lighter. You can let things go that you don't need to think about anymore. And, I used to do martial arts when I was a little kid, and I've always loved martial arts. Right now in my life, I don't want to do martial arts. I don't want to be beaten up. I don't want to kick anyone either. And it just doesn't feel like the time, but I really feel like later on in life, I'll dive back in. Just knowing that makes me feel at peace. So in your life, figure out all of these things. It just takes a pen and a piece of paper and maybe a cup of tea and half an hour on the clock. And once you've done this process, once you've figured these steps out, you will feel at peace and you'll know what to do, and you'll start living your life the way you're meant to live it, doing the things that you love, letting go of the things that you no longer need to hold on to. And that's what life is surely about, living your best life, enjoying who you are. That was a horse. Who you are to be, and letting go of all the things that you no longer need to hold on to. I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy, keep smiling, keep enjoying nature whenever you can. Big love.